Hello, remember me? No? Alright. Yeah, it's been a while, more than a month. Yeah, I think it's pretty much more than a month. I just wanted to explain where I've been and why there's been no videos. Okay, I was offshore, right? I was offshore, but it wasn't that long. It was maybe a week or so. It was about a week. I was on a rig for a full-sized rig for the first time. It was good. And when I got home, now most of you will know if you're following this channel that I'm trying to find a new career. So what I did, I don't know if I shared this with you, but previously I applied for a job as a railway engineer working on the tracks, etc. And I got through so many stages only to not be given the job or not be given an interview because they put forward a guy with previous experience in that role, which is utterly understandable. So I thought, well, I'm going to get experience. So I've been volunteering at a private railway, RCing Private Railway, and that's what I've been doing. Now, it's basically track work, labour, replacing sleepers and stuff. Very physical, but great fun. I really enjoy it. Ripping up old sleepers and that and hauling them out and stuff. It's exhausting, but I enjoy it. Here's what's happened. The first week I did it, the weather was pretty poor. There was mixed conditions, rain on and off and everything. At one point it was pretty torrential, not enough for us to stop, but we were all in overalls and everything. Some people had jackets. I didn't have jacket or hat or anything. I had several layers on, but basically I got soaked absolutely through, soaked completely through. But it was very, very hard manual labour, so I didn't feel cold at the time. We finished at around about 4 o'clock in the evening because that's when the sun was going away. The temperature was around about 6 degrees Celsius and the wind was picking up, probably with wind chill, probably a few degrees colder than that. And like I say, I was soaking through. And I couldn't unlock the car. The key fob had run out of battery. So my wallet was in the car, my house key, not that matters, that was in the car. I had my phone on me and my car keys and that was all I had. So I could unlock the car with the key, but that would set the alarm off. I then would need to pop the bonnet and disconnect the battery, but I didn't have any tools to do that. So that was not an option. So I couldn't get into the car, because obviously if I did get into the car, the battery would go off until it was flat, in which case I couldn't drive anywhere anyway. The local Tesco sold the battery, but I tried to explain to someone at the desk that I was locked out of the car, and once I got into the car and got my wallet, I could pay for it, or that Matthew, my brother-in-law, could pay for it over the phone using his card details, but they weren't having any of it, so that was useless. Thanks, Tesco. So I phoned Rachel to say, look, this is what's happened. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. Phoned Matthew. Turns out he was working in Edinburgh, as you know, or you may know, he's a joiner, and he wasn't too far away because Bo'ness is south of. If you don't know the area very well, if you're not from Scotland or whatever, Edinburgh is just south of the Forth River, just south of the bridges, the Forth bridges which span the river, and Bo'ness is also just south of the river, but it's on towards the west, whereas Edinburgh is towards the east. So you come across the bridges, and basically if you turn towards the east, you head to Edinburgh, and if you turn to the west, you end in Bo'ness, or towards Bo'ness. So we weren't miles away from each other. But Edinburgh, especially the bridges, approaching the bridges and the bridges themselves, at rush hour during the weekday is probably the busiest, most congested roads in Scotland. You're gridlock, basically, and a journey that takes half an hour will take 3 or 4 times that. You are basically stationary for most of it. I didn't find this out at the time, but he had to, for some reason, insisted on dropping his workmate off on the far end of the bridge first, and then coming back, so he had to travel the bridge twice. So I don't know how long that took him, but it was about 10 to 7 by the time he showed up. So I was basically stuck for 3 hours. Freezing cold, and I don't know, the temperature was going down, the wind was picking up, and I was so, as you can imagine, so he basically bought the battery and we got the key fob working, got home, that was all fine. You can imagine the next day, I was absolutely ill, like completely ill. understandably. So I was recovering over the next 2 days. This was on a Monday, and I'll get back to that. That's a problem because this is on Mondays, but I'll get back to that. On the Thursday, I was getting a little bit better. I was still run down, you know, cold sores and everything, and I was all fluey and stuff, and I was really run down. The AGA ran out of heating oil. The temperature was -2, -3 during the daytime, and I had no heating, and no hot water, and no cooking. I had my electric hob, so that's all I can do, but everything else was gone. Phoned the oil company, you know, you can get it on an emergency because I was out. They said it'll be in on Saturday morning, so I was like, okay, it's not a disaster. Thursday, I need to just survive Friday, get the electric fire on and stuff. Cost me a fortune. You're about to hear something noisy because the truck's coming past. But okay, cost me a fortune for a day. I can stomach it. It was freezing at night, but whatever. Saturday came, no truck. Sunday came, no truck. Tried to phone them, the office was shut. Monday came, phoned them. For some reason the driver had stated that he didn't have access because I wasn't in. First of all, I was in all day on Sunday. Second of all, you don't even need access because the tank's outside and they've regularly delivered while I wasn't in. So my thinking is the guy couldn't find the place and just put down that I wasn't there to cover himself and then went home. So that's what I think. Phoned on Monday. They said they'd get back to me. They didn't. Phoned on Monday later on. Look, where's my heating? They said, all right, I'll be here tomorrow. So it arrived on the Tuesday afternoon. So that was Thursday till Tuesday, almost a week with no heating. So as you can imagine, by this point, I wasn't just ill. I was unreal. I was dead on my feet. I was pale as hell, even more pale. Not in a good way at all. And I'm still not actually fully recovered because it was brutal. You know, I had the electric fire rather than keeping me warm. I had the electric fire in. Electric radiator rather in the bathroom to try and stop the pipes freezing, because if they burst it's my fault apparently, even though the sender to the tank doesn't work, even though I've reported it many times. Let's not get into that. The point is, I couldn't risk the pipes bursting, so that's where the heater was. Yeah, it wasn't good. So I wasn't in any fit state to do any filming. Now going back to the thing, Mondays is when I was doing this whole you know, the news flash, RC news flash, and Mondays is the day that we've got to do these voluntary work at the railway to try and gain CV experience so I can get a new career. So that's important. I could film it on Sunday and upload it on the Monday while I'm out. That's not a problem. That would be ideal. Unfortunately, Rachel works Monday to Friday, and the only times I can see her regularly are the weekends. Not every weekend. Sometimes we've got to work around it, but most weekends I have to see Rachel. Hold on, my fridge is making a racket. It just decides to be the loudest thing in the world, just randomly. So bear with me. I hate that fridge so much. Right, so if I'm seeing Rachel on a Sunday, I can't really film and edit on a Sunday because I'd be going through to hers either the Friday or the Saturday and spending the weekend there. So I could film on the Friday, but I don't want to upload on the Monday because by that time it's 3 days old. It's almost half a week out of date. The news, and you know, arriving on the Monday, that's when the next news comes in. That's when offices open again. That's when new products get announced. So it's kind of old news, last week's news. So it's not really great. What I could do is film on a Friday and upload on a Sunday. So it's still a recap of that week, and then the next week I'm just recapping from the Monday through the week again. That's possible. I'll have to work that out. That's something I would have to work out. So leave that with me. I do enjoy doing the news flashes, and I know some of you guys, have responded quite positively to it. So I'd like to keep doing that. I'd also like to do more filming as well, but at the moment the weather has been all water, all rain, all mud, all the time. So it's not been brilliant. It sounds like I'm making excuses here, but genuinely I've been too sick to film. I've been busy on Mondays. Well, I had to take a Monday off because obviously I was sick, but I went back this Monday, gone. And you know, the weather's not been conducive, but I will try my best and I'll be getting back onto it as much as possible. So thanks for bearing with me, and thank you again for all your support, and we'll see you guys as soon as possible. Right, take care. Bye bye.